just wanted to let you know, jail's not that bad. It sucks, but it's not the worst thing ever. So don't fret if that. I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, it's not that bad.
Good to know.
Sam?
Maxine Waters so nice when she first issued the invitation, kind of dripping with syrupy kind of prose saying, oh, we'd love to have you come on, stop by. Was she setting him up because she was going to slam him, or was she being nice because he's given money to her campaign? It was such a weird...
I don't think it's the latter. I consider her a friend. She was always very respectful to me.
I just didn't get that. I didn't understand for a minute why they did that nice thing, especially when you have the power of subpoena that you can toss at him. You don't have to be that nice. Combat, we're going to subpoena you.
You don't have to be that nice, but at the end of the day...
power of subpoena from abroad, right?
Look, at the end of the day, if this is what they wanted, they have the hearing they wanted.
Right.
So I'm,
Do they not have the power of subpoena from abroad? Could they not?
I'm pretty confident that there is no ability to subpoena somebody if you're abroad. There's no, you can't extradite somebody.
Okay, maybe if you know that they're going to subpoena you
for,
if you ever set foot back here again. Like, just know that
sure,
we're going to
yeah.
get you.
Maybe you can do it that way.
Maybe.
I don't know how it would have come out in the short amount of time that we have, but given the short amount of time that we have, avoiding the subpoena process is probably a fairly effective way to get the hearing that you want.
So what is John Ray? Anything new on that front? How much we're going to get? We're going to find anything?
I think it's just what's going on now.
I mean, is there any people get 30 cents on the dollar? They get 50 cents? They get zero?
I think in these things it's too early to tell, but you'll hear what process people are going through.
My guess is he can talk a lot more about this crazy stuff that Sam Bankman-Fried is saying about, if you just turn it back on and fire it back up, it'll all be fine and everybody will be made whole. Ray can answer the questions as to, that's not the case.
Yeah, and he's a very experienced and methodical guy, and he's going to tell people this is the process we're going through around situations like this.
From what you've seen thus far, maybe unfair to prejudge given that we don't have all the facts. What do you think?
Look, I think there was obviously a great deal of bad behavior here that we would think was bad behavior from our perspective as to how you run a financial institution in the United States, but also from a general perspective in how you handle any business.
But what about the idea that some of these laws that we have here around securities and all sorts of other things that might otherwise, things that maybe happened would have constituted fraud or worse here, wouldn't there?
Well, let me say this. We have an incredibly well-developed and rigorous legal system around securities markets, securities issuance, securities trading, all of those things. But its basis is in the common law. And outside the United States, there is still a fair amount of common law built around fraud and the like. What does our securities law system do? It creates processes, requirements, transparency, inspection that makes it much easier to detect fraud and prevent fraud. So, it's not, I'm not saying that around the world fraudulent activity isn't policed. We just have what I would say is an incredibly rigorous system for deterring it, detecting it, and when it exists, punishing it.
I think the same.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And we have CNBC playing the Hegelian dialectic for the Bankman. They're acting like the Bahamas doesn't have a SEC or a jail. We know the alphabet boys, if they want you, they'll come get you. Don't forget about John McAfee and others. Guys, we know this is all a show, all a movie for something much bigger. And it's building up to another distraction. We know Gary Gensler and the CFTC was meeting with the Bankman on a regular. And we know it was all about those derivatives. And we had Jay Clayton having the nerve to say that Sam Bankman-Fried may make a great witness. Guys, he's a criminal. How is he going to make a great witness in this hearing? Sam Bankman-Fried, the Bankman, clearly has some powerful people behind him. And guys, we know who. That's right, the New World Order. But they arrest Sam Bankman-Fried just in time right before the hearing. Because we know, when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
You saw Andrew's interview of Bankman-Fried and other. He gave other interviews. Is this going to be different when he's testifying actually before Congress? Will there be more "I don't recalls" instead of more "I didn't didn't know I was doing anything wrong"? I mean, he's got to tell the absolute truth now, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think there'll be more of the same, but then there'll be more, Joe. There's a lot going on in these congressional hearings. People will be trying to get to the bottom of what happened. Did it happen because it was offshore? Would it have happened in the U.S.? But then there's a lot of other things. I mean, members of Congress are not constrained in what they're able to ask.
It was Andrew. Were you, Andrew? I don't think you were concerned.
Nope.
But if someone says, "Did you knowingly commingle customer funds with Alameda?" What did he say to you when you asked him that? He's like, it was like nebulous the way doesn't he have to give a more?
He didn't give if we didn't get to a yes or no.
That's what I mean. So does he do it? I don't recall now. What does he do? I know people do. I don't recall again and again and again.
I think one of the reasons this is going to be so interesting and why we're talking about today is we will see. We'll see how he handles those questions under that kind of pressure. One of the things that makes you a good witness in front of Congress is whether you're coming off as authentic or not. And that is actually a very important part of preparing for these types of hearings.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.